Eat some fruit and for some reason a pretzel in Miss Pac-Man, and watch out for semi-trucks when hopping across the street in Frogger. I've got 15 questions for you on arcade games. This is Trivia with Buds. Be it what? And welcome to the Trivia with Buds podcast, the mini episode edition of the show. We put out the mini episodes every Thursday and full episodes every Tuesday. If you subscribe to the show, you can get those in your feed every single week, and we have some really fun stuff coming up. This Tuesday, listen to me sit down with comedian Laura Bites and chat all about the things she loves the most and see how many questions she can get out of her 4 topics, including The Bachelor, yoga, scary movies, and pop music. It's a really fun one, and it is continuing our celebration of all the amazing women I know the whole month long to celebrate Women's History Month. We put out the full-length episodes every Tuesday, the mini episodes every Thursday, and next Thursday we have a really fun mini episode as well. So check that out, and let me know how you found this show. If you are stumbling upon it for the first time, maybe you just searched Trivia Podcast. Maybe you've been listening for a long time. And if you have been listening for a long time, a special thank you to all the people who have donated very generously over at my brand new Patreon page. You can go to patreon.com/trivia with buds and see all the perks and rewards you can get for $1 to $20 a month. I just sent out rewards like Ren and Stimpy stickers, a VHS tape of Lethal Weapon 3, a pop culture art square set of Ripley from Aliens and Shaun of the Dead from Shaun from Shaun of the Dead. So there's tons of fun stuff. We also have a $20 tier that I just added that includes all the previous stuff and a brand new secret pop culture item every single month, something rare and unique and exciting, possibly made by an artistic friend of mine. And an extra special thanks to listener Alexis Eck, who upped her $10 a month subscription to $20 a month to get that extra reward. Alexis, thank you very much. If you love this show and you want to support the possibility of more mini trivia episodes, bonus episodes, live shows in your hometown, stuff like that, go to patreon.com/trivia with buds and check out all the fun stuff over there. Patreon.com/trivia with buds. There are 85 other episodes of this show that are all named by the topics they're about, so go back and check out some of these music-themed episodes. We had some music-themed trivia on episode 64. One of the categories we did was punk rock music with Brian Bonsall, who is a guitar player for the Ataris, which is really cool. Episode 62, we did some Kiss trivia. If you like the band Kiss, if you like makeup and long tongues, you will love the episode 62 Kiss trivia. And episode 48, we did some 80s new wave music trivia. So go and check out those music-themed episodes as well as, again, 85 other ones in the feed. Without any further ado, we're going to dive into 15 questions on arcade games picked by listener Earl Clark. Here we go. All right, here we go. We got 15 questions for you on classic arcade games from the 80s, 90s, and some even the 2000s. Let's see how many of these you can get right. Here's question number 1. What year did Donkey Kong come out? Was it 1980, 1981, or 1985? Question number 1. What year did Donkey Kong come out? 1980, 1981, or 1985? Question number 2. What band starred in a shooting game called Revolution X in 1994? Question number 2. What band starred in a shooting game called Revolution X in 1994? Question number 3. Traditionally, what color are Pac-Man's gloves and boots? Question number 3. Traditionally, what color are Pac-Man's gloves and boots? Question number 4, what company made the Street Fighter arcade games? Question number 4, what company made the Street Fighter arcade games? Question number 5, which of these was not a selectable character in Mortal Kombat 1? Was it Kano, Johnny Cage, or Reptile? Question number 5, which of these was not a selectable character in Mortal Kombat 1? Kano, Johnny Cage, or Reptile? Question number 6, in what story-based arcade game would you play as Dirk the Daring? Question number 6, in what story-based arcade game would you play as Dirk the Daring? Question number 7, what can the main character shake on enemies in Burger Time to stun them? Question number 7, what can the main character shake on enemies in Burger Time to stun them? Question number 8, in 1986's Rampage, you can play as an ape, a lizard, and what else? Question number 8, in 1986's Rampage, you can play as an ape, a lizard, and what else? Question number 9, in the Simpsons arcade game from the early 90s, what weapon does Marge wield? Question number 9, in the Simpsons arcade game from the early 90s, what weapon does Marge wield? Question number 10, what does the fancy footwork game DDR stand for? Question number 10, what does the fancy footwork game DDR stand for? Question number 11, the cop shooting game Lethal Enforcers had a male cop and a female cop on the outside of the arcade cabinet. What colored tank top is the woman wearing? Question number 11, the cop shooting game Lethal Enforcers had a male cop and a female cop on the outside of the arcade cabinet. What color tank top is the woman wearing? Question number 12, what were the most kinds of creatures fighting against each other in Primal Rage? Question number 12, what were most kinds of the creatures fighting against each other in Primal Rage? Question number 13, what type of vehicle was crazy for a title in 1999? Question number 13, what type of vehicle was crazy for a title in 1999? Question number 14, what football game let you give your opponents wrestling moves like power bombs in 1997? Question number 14, what football game let you give your opponents wrestling moves like power bombs in 1997? And question number 15, Ninja Turtles 4 came out in 1991 with what subtitle? Question number 15, Ninja Turtles 4 came out in 1991 with what subtitle? Those are your 15 questions for arcade games. I'm going to tell you a quick story about me and the arcade I grew up going to, and then we'll go over the answers for all those questions. Let me tell you about a little place in Crestwood, Illinois called Hollywood Park. Oh my God, this place was a 90s kid's dream. They had too many golf courses. I think they had a go-kart track. They had tons of arcade games, tons of ticket games, pizza, the whole shebang. I feel like Chuck E. Cheese really put these kinds of places on the map, and they started popping up everywhere in the late 80s, early 90s. So I was born in 85, which was prime for these arcades. And the place in my hometown was called Hollywood Park. It's still there. It still operates, I believe. And we'd go mini golfing, and they had a really cool thing at the end where you put your golf ball down like a Plinko type game, and it would land maybe in a free game of mini golf spot. So that was always kind of fun to do at the end. And they had just a bunch of fun stuff. But I'll tell you this quick story. This was not necessarily about an arcade, like a challenging arcade game, but it was a game there that gave tickets. And it was the Wheel of Fortune. I think you rolled a quarter down like a chute, and then it would hit one of the numbers on the wheel, and you'd get that many tickets. And we would just put coin after coin into this thing and win a bunch of stuff. And sometimes you'd get a really high ticket amount. So it was fun. But one time, me and my friend Joe, who lived down the street from me, who I haven't talked to probably since then, in the early 90s, we found out if you flicked the coin return lever on this game, it would like somehow make it the game think that you put a quarter in it. So an invisible quarter would just go down and it would give you a random ticket amount. It was like the strangest thing. So we found out about that, and we just sat there for hours and kept flicking this coin thing and kept getting tickets, and tickets kept pouring out. And it was really, really fun as a kid to be getting all these tickets. And then for some reason, I think we did it like maybe 1 or 2 days. And then like the third day, let's say we came back, and for some reason, an employee was like walking by, and he was kind of young. And I think we were kind of bragging to him for some reason. One of us said like, yeah, this game's great. You can get as many tickets as you want. And he's like, how? And then we showed him for some reason. And he's like, oh, we got to fix that. And then they shut the game down. I think they removed the whole game from Hollywood Park. So that's my quick arcade game story on how to cheat the system with tickets and how it quickly got shut down from bragging about it. Tell me your arcade game story. What did you play growing up? What was the name of the arcade you grew up going to? I'd love to hear all about it in a nice tweet or a message or an email. Find me, Ryan Buds, on all social media, and let me know what's up. Let's go over to the answers for your 15 questions on arcade games right now. All right, everybody, here are the answers to your roundabout arcade games. Let's do these 15 questions in the order we asked them, and we'll see how many you got right and wrong. Here's question number 1. What year did Donkey Kong come out? Was it 1980, 1981, or 1985? The answer was 1981. The middle choice there, 1981, Donkey Kong. I've never been good at this game. I always want to play it when I see it at a classic arcade, and I'm like, this will be fun, and then I die immediately. So you really have to master that before you can get good at it. Number 2, what band starred in a shooting game called Revolution X in 1994? This was the band Aerosmith. It was like Aerosmith was late to a gig and you had to shoot everything or something like that. It kind of matches the Aerosmith ride at Disneyland in terms of, how they designed it and things like that. Very similar types. They were probably made around the same time. Number 3, traditionally, what color are Pac-Man's gloves and boots? Red. I was looking for the color red for Pac-Man's gloves and boots. Question number 4, what company made the Street Fighter arcade games? Capcom. Capcom was the company that I was looking for. My character when I played Street Fighter was always Dalzim because his arm stretched, and I felt like that was a huge advantage. But I still probably got my ass kicked plenty of times. Number 5, which of these was not a selectable character in Mortal Kombat 1, another fighting game here? Kano, Johnny Cage, or Reptile? Reptile was the answer. There was a special set of circumstances that you could do to play against and fight Reptile, but you could not choose him as a character, but you could choose him in later games. So Reptile was the answer there. Number 6, in what story-based arcade game would you play as Dirk the Daring? The game is called Dragon's Lair. This is another game you have to get the exact moments and button presses right, or you die immediately. You'll get grabbed by like a giant tentacle in the opening scene, I believe. And they played this in Stranger Things at the beginning of season 2, I believe, in their arcade. Number 7, what can the main character shake on enemies in a game called Burger Time to stun them? Pepper. His name is Peter Pepper, the chef in that game, and he shakes Pepper to momentarily stun them. Number 8, in 1986's Rampage, you can play as an ape, a lizard, and a wolf, a giant wolf, werewolf, if you wrote that down, that's probably fine. They're coming out with a Rampage movie with The Rock, of all people. You just put The Rock in anything, and it becomes a big hit. So we'll see what happens there. Number 9, in the Simpsons arcade game from the early 90s, what weapon does Marge wield? She has a vacuum cleaner. Swinging a giant old-school vacuum cleaner at your enemies is really fun in that game. Homer's got a bowling ball, Bart's got a skateboard, and Lisa has her saxophone, if I remember correctly. Number 10, what does the fancy footwork game DDR stand for? Dance Dance Revolution. I am sure you've seen a Maniac or two going nuts on this game when it was really popular 10, 15 years ago, and tons of viral videos of that as well. Number 11, the cop shooting game Lethal Enforcers had a male cop and a female cop on the outside of an arcade cabinet. What color tank top is the woman wearing? She's wearing a pink tank top, and this was one of those games that always caught my attention because it was a really bright pink tank top. It was very 90s. It kind of looked like the movie Lethal Weapon if there was a woman on the cover instead of like Danny Glover or something. Number 12, what were most kinds of creatures fighting against each other in Primal Rage? That question was awkwardly worded, I agree, but I was looking for dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, there's like, I think an ape character, maybe something else, but mostly dinosaurs in that game. Number 13, what type of vehicle was Crazy for a title in 1999? Crazy Taxi. That was a fun one. That was like Uber and Lyft before we had Uber and Lyft, but it didn't take you anywhere, but you got to drive a taxi. Number 14, what football game let you give your opponents wrestling moves like power bombs in 1997? That was the game Blitz, NFL Blitz. What a fun game that was. Nintendo 64 really mastered it. We used to play that nonstop. And Blitz to this day is one of my favorite sports games because you didn't have to know anything about football except like you need to score a touchdown to have fun with it. And number 15, Ninja Turtles 4 came out in 91 with the subtitle Turtles in Time. You time traveled. It was a beat-em-up, side-scrolling game, super fun. And I think they released it on the Xbox Arcade and PlayStation Network and stuff a couple years back. So you can go back and play it if you want. I hope you had a good time testing yourself on these arcade game questions. How did you do? Hit me up on social media at Ryan Buds on everything and tell me what your score was out of 15. Brag it up. Take a picture of all your scores if you wrote them down. I like to see that kind of stuff. Also, if you like stuff, go support the show by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/trivia with Buds. All the funds raised there will go into making this show, Trivia with Buds, bigger and better each and every week. Thank you guys for listening. Tuesday, we're back with a full-length episode with comedian Laura Bites and 4 different fun topics, and a new mini episode next Thursday on marijuana. That's right. It's picked by Patreon subscriber Natalie Santiago. She runs a company called Hotbox Wholesale, and they have amazing weed culture products that you got to check out. Find them out on Instagram, Hotbox Wholesale, all one word on Instagram. You'll find them. They have amazing shirts. There's a shirt I desperately want that says, "Not shy, just high." Which is a fun one to wear in public. It's a great shirt. Special thanks to all my Patreon subscribers, including Earl Clark, who picked today's topic of arcade games, Alex DeSmet, Jordan Zeilinger, Natalie Santiago, Alexis Eck, Fiona Neville, Jess Whitener, and Manny McNelly. You guys mean the world to me. And if you're listening near or far and you want to plan a trivia event hosted by me, I would love to do it. You pick the rounds, I write the questions, and I would come entertain your friends, family, your coworkers, whatever you want. Email ryanbuds@gmail.com and we'll get some great ideas going. Thanks again for listening, everybody, and cheers.